How's it going, y'all? The Woods and May here. We want to make a quick video on how you can improve the longevity of your bar of soap. Whether you're a first-time user or you're an experienced veteran squatcher, this video will be perfect for you. Special shout outs to Or the Oz, one of our recent giveaway winners who won a free bar of pine tar. It's going to be his first time using Squatch, so he's part of our Discord community and our Twitch community. And this is mainly used for that purpose, but this is again open to anyone using it. Special shout outs to also Scrub Club. A lot of ideas have come from there. And then also I've been using Dr. Squatch for about 4 years now, so I've learned a lot about how to improve the longevity of your soap. Just to start, we have to first acknowledge that after you use the bar of soap, the soap has to dry in order for it to last longer. Because essentially, so what we have here is one of our hand soaps that we use for our hands. And so let's go over it. It's a little, should get a towel. But basically what happens with the bar of soap after you use it is that it's going to stay wet, right? It's going to be, whether it's just moist or just has residue. If you don't have something that can help it dry out, what happens is all the water tends to get stuck on the bottom. So you have a bar of soap that's been resonating with the water, has been soaking it in. So when you go to use it again, it's just wet. A lot of the soap will get stuck on your hand. So there's no soap on me right now, but most on your hand. It's going to be get stuck on any kind of surface that you have it if it doesn't have the chance to dry. Now, I'll go into some techniques and things that we can do. So the first thing that you have to do is have something that's going to help it dry out, or put it in a space that's going to help it dry out. Now, there's many ways to do it. I obviously recommend Dr. Squatch Soap Saver, which will go into details of that. But if it's the first time that you're using Dr. Squatch, one of the most basic ways that you can actually, I'll just get a Fresh Falls since this is a Fresh Falls bar of soap. One of the things that you can do, and it's not foolproof and it does tend to kind of fail too, is use the box. The box itself can be used as a natural absorbent. Now it does, I've done it before. So basically after you shower, you put it on top and it works better than having it on like a counter or something. It does help it dry out. The only thing is if this box gets wet, it's just as bad as any other surface. But that's one of the basic things that you can do is put it on the box itself and then put it in an area that it will stay dry. So what you can do is you put it on the soap after, or put on the box after, make sure it's not too wet. And then what you can do to try to prevent the box from kind of getting messed up or too wet is put the box outside of your shower, somewhere where it's not going to get wet at all. That's one of the basic things that you can do. Again, that's not something that's in the long run you're going to be using or doing, but that is one of the options. A second option is not using the bar of soap directly on your body or skin, and instead using something like a loofah or a towel that can help get it all sudsed up and then get it ready and then use that instead. Now, me personally, I think part of the shower experience with Dr. Squatch from over the years that I love, especially when you have a bar of soap that is exfoliating, is I personally just love the feeling of any of the Dr. Squatch bars of soap, because whether it has moisturizing effects, whether it has exfoliation, whether it makes you just feel really fresh, I think that's part of the experience. But again, if this is one of your first times and you just want to prolong the life of the bar soap even more, that is one thing you can do, is instead of doing direct from bar to skin, you then use something else as immediate to not get the bar of soap super wet. And that will, obviously, you're probably using less soap that way. The third thing that you can do, so years ago, I got one of my friends into Dr. Squatch, and then when he started using it, he would actually tell me that he would cut up the bar of soap, and I was like, oh, interesting, I've never really thought about that. And what you do is essentially you get the bar of soap, whether it's new, old, you get your bar of soap, take it out of the package, and then right away you can cut it up. It doesn't matter what kind. I think he cut it into like slivers, like longer slivers, but I know people that have cut it up into cubes. It's kind of like a preference thing. And then you put the other ones in like a container of sorts, and you put it to the side, and you have your main sliver that you're going to be using in your shower, and it's not going to get as wet or soaked up, or wherever that you have it, it's not going to or get used up as much because you have less of a circumference, I guess, of the bar of soap. So that's another quick little technique. So me personally, again, I go back to the reason I even use Dr. Squatch is for the shower experience. So I personally love using the full bar of soap. And then just, it's part of the experience for me. So again, I wouldn't personally do that, but I know a lot of people, including people in the official scrub club, Dr. Squatch's scrub club, that do that. But again, me personally, I wouldn't necessarily do it because that's part of the experience. And what I love about Dr. Squatch is the full bar. The fourth thing that you can do is using a container that you can put in the shower that it's either closed up, or I wouldn't necessarily recommend it closed up, but putting it in a container other than the shower, tile. So it's kind of like the same thing. My only issue with that is like it kind of falls in the same way that the box does, is that even if you put it in a container in the shower, you're not letting the bar of soap air out. That's basically with all of these techniques or advice that I'm giving you, you need the bar of soap to air out after every use, or else it's just going to be super wet, and then when you put it on, it's going to be like a whole unnecessary layer of soap. So yeah, putting it in a container is a fourth option that you can do. And better thing is like if you do put it in a container, maybe take it out of the shower so it can air out. Especially if other people are using the shower, you can have the steam or even some of the mist of the water land in the container, and then you have a puddle, which is the complete opposite of what you want. The fifth one, and the one that I probably recommend the most for anyone. Now, if you're the first time using it, I know this is necessarily not going to be the best one for you, especially if you're not sure if you're going to love it. But I know right away, I knew when I first started using Dr. Squatch 4 years ago that I needed something to help improve the life of the bar of soap, because the bars of soap were going away too fast for me. I take a lot of showers and it would go away too fast. So one of the first things, and one of the best things that you can do, is getting a soap saver. Now, I even looked online. You can get some for like even $7, $10. And, of course, the official Dr. Squatch one is $15. Now, I obviously recommend the Dr. Squatch ones, and I'll give you the reasons why, of course. But there's a whole bunch of options for a soap saver, and you can always upgrade to the Dr. Squatch one if you want to get one that's maybe less in price. So when you do get one, I personally have tried other soap savers other than the Dr. Squatch, and no joke, this is the best one that I have used. Like I got one on Amazon, I think, for like $7 or something before, and literally the wood was coming out of like the wood pieces. The soap was getting stuck on it. No matter what I did, the soap was like not drying out properly, and it was just a really bad experience, because it's like, what is the point of having the soap saver? So basically I ended up investing in one of these, and it's probably the best idea. So let me show you right now the official Dr. Squatch soap saver and why it's so cool. So one of the things, so when I first got a soap saver, my original ones probably lasted me about 2 years. So some stuff happened that we had to get rid of the soap savers that I have. So I do have new ones, and I have the Bigfoot soap saver too, which is really cool. But the advantage of this soap saver is that it's going to last you a really long time, and the wood does not deteriorate if you take care of it. So this is the soap saver, Dr. Squatch soap saver, and why it's so cool. So again, it's $15, and I know you're thinking, oh, that's maybe too pricey. But you have to remember, this soap saver is handcrafted in the United States, and it's made out of wood from the United States too. So you're getting something that's made already from the United States, and it really shows with the craftsmanship of the soap saver itself. So let me show you again. So here's the soap saver. the Dr. Squatch, you're thinking, oh, well, it's not that special. I mean, if you can make one, that's even better. But let me show you the advantage of this soap saver, and the design of it is pretty crucial in why it works. So I do have some soap residue here, and I did that on purpose because I think after this, I'm going to show you how to clean it. And there's actually a little bit of soap residue on it, if you can see. But it's not that bad, right? And I'm going to show you how to clean it properly. So the cool thing about a Dr. Squatch soap saver is, first thing that you probably notice is these wedges, right? You have the 3 wedges that are going in between. So obviously that is used when you put the bar of soap, you see how it's kind of elevated, right? And you have the space in between where you're getting air that can flow after you use it, after your shower or after your hand wash. You can have the air kind of flow through. But then you're thinking, well, how does it dry up the parts that it's not getting the air? Well, that's the cool thing about the soap saver is if you see the bottom of it, it has a cut, 2 cuts that are going right here horizontally on it. So the cuts are made because you can get airflow through the center. So not only do you have air coming in through the sides to help the bar of soap dry out, but you also allow the air, because of the slivers, to air out through the bottom and top of it. So that's a really, really cool little nifty thing. And when I tell you it works tremendously in helping dry out. Like I used this probably like before I was recording like 5 minutes, and this bar of soap is pretty much already dry. So that's how good this soap saver works, and I highly, highly recommend it above all else. Now, if you have any questions about it, feel free to send me a message or put a comment down below. This is how you clean the soap saver. This is what I do pretty often. For the hand soap, I tend to do it more often than the shower one, but the shower ones I tend to do after every single bar of soap. And that's important because you want to get all the residue, and you don't want any residue to build up to prevent the drying of the soap. So let's take this over to the sink. Got some cool stuff here, and one of the things I recommend is make sure the bar of soap is pretty dry, because you're just going to put it to the side. So you put it to the side, and then if you look here, you have some of the soap residue, and you even have some stuff here. And if you're wondering how do I get in there, well, let's see. So turn on the water, and then all you literally do is, you see how I'm putting the water on it directly, and it's already washing it away. And you just get your fingernails or whatever, and you just kind of scrape it through, and then you get in between there. And I'm just kind of demonstrating. Usually it's honestly really fast. And then you check down here on the bottom too, give it a quick little, and you see there's like little white stuff. So if you really want, if you want to get a good cleaning, you can even do that. But sometimes I'm showing you that because sometimes on this side, you have to do that to the soap saver itself. So yeah, you just make sure, and honestly, I'm already done. I'm just doing a little extra rinse. And you give it a quick shake, make sure it's dried up. You can even do a pat dry of a towel and just kind of pat the bottom so it's not wet anymore if you're using it for like hand. And let me show you. So that's how it works. It's really that easy, and it's super clean, and you don't have any problems. And then you just put the soap back, and it's ready to dry out. See you in a bit. Y'all, it's literally that easy to clean your soap saver. So there's literally no excuses. And I honestly took a little bit of extra time just to kind of show you specifically what I do. But usually it's probably a little bit quicker than what I even showed you. But let's check out the soap saver. Like, look at that. I mean, back to normal. And like I was just saying, like, you can literally, if you start seeing some of this like white residue on the bottom, you just give it a good scratch, and then it's ready to go. So those are some of the basic things that you can do to help prolong the life of your soap. And then an added bonus tip is, let's go back to here. And it's actually something that I just recently got, but it's a soap gripper. A soap gripper is essentially going to help elevate your bar of soap even more. So what it does is you put it on the bar of soap, just like that, and then you can have it flipped over on the soap saver, and it can help even prolong your life of the soap. Now, I'll let you know if that's true. Like I said, I have one coming in, so I haven't necessarily experienced it, so that's why I'm considering it a bonus tip. But I know people that have used it and they kind of vouch for it, so that's why I'm kind of excited to use it. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask any questions down below, or if I missed some tips, I probably did. No biggie, but be sure to like the video if you do like it, and then also consider subscribing. We've been hitting a lot of subscriber milestones, so thank you so much. We are looking good, feeling good, doing good. You can also join the personal Discord. We actually have a giveaway going on right now, and you can also join us on Twitch. Oftentimes we're talking about Dr. Squatch. It's a fun time. We play some amazing games. We've been playing Rocket League, Cyberpunk, Call of Duty, Zombies. We have a blast, so I hope to see you there as well. But look good, feel good, do good. Keep clutching up. I'll see you pretty soon, because we're going to be releasing that Bay Rum deodorant because you all smashed that like button in the last video. Let's go.